Coming up on WUFT Midday, NASA astronauts remain stranded as a SpaceX launch gets delayed.
Also, President Trump causing waves at home and abroad. Why the latest moves by the administration has educators and economists worried.
And 2 Ocala police officers are set for reassignment after the death of 3 dogs. Why the chief says they went too far. WUFT Midday starts right now.
Watching WUFT Midday.
A last-minute decision leaves 2 astronauts in orbit, at least for now. Welcome to WUFT Midday. I'm Ciara Carle.
And I'm Maria Avlontis. NASA and SpaceX canceled the Crew 10 mission launch set for Wednesday night. WUFT's Sydnie Espro joins us live in the studio to tell us why it didn't happen.
The launch at NASA's Kennedy Space Center was stopped due to a hydraulic system issue with the ground support clamp arm for the Falcon 9 rocket. There were no issues with the Falcon 9 itself or for the Crew Dragon capsule named Endurance. Officials are now reviewing when the next available launch opportunity may be. When the Crew 10 mission does launch, 4 astronauts will head to the International Space Station for a roughly 6-month stay. It's not clear how much the departure may shift now that SpaceX has called off the possible liftoff. Live in the studio, Sydnie Espro, WUFT News.
It was in the 40s early this morning, but sunny skies have warmed temperatures up into the 70s already. While the sun is shining today, UF forecaster Jadyn Bottini says strong thunderstorms are headed our way for the weekend.
That's right. It's been warm and sunny outside, but this weekend we're going to see some clouds and thunderstorms. However, on campus right now, still looking pretty sunny. A couple of scattered clouds out there, 71 degrees, winds from the southwest, about 7 miles per hour. We're tracking this low pressure system sitting over Mississippi and Alabama. They're seeing some storms right now. This system's not going to quite make its way to us. We might see some lingering clouds from it though. Our next weather maker is in the northwest. It's going to track all the way down to us, cause us some severe wind and rain this weekend. We'll be taking a look at that in just a second. Right now our temperature is 68 in Gainesville, 70 in Ocala, 68 in the Villages and Jacksonville. This evening, we're warming up to the mid-70s, 75 at 6 p.m., 59 by midnight, 4 a.m., we're at 55 degrees. Coming up, we're going to be taking a look at those lingering clouds later tonight, a lunar eclipse that is happening tonight, and a stormy weekend ahead.
Representatives from Canada head to Washington today to try to bring down the temperature in an escalating trade war with America. And as Alice Barr reports, new fallout is coming after 1,300 workers were let go at the Department of Education.
Concern and confusion over the Trump administration's deep cuts to the Department of Education, slashing its workforce in half. While schools are largely funded and run at the state and local level, the federal education department protects students with disabilities, investigates discrimination cases, and helps low-income school districts. This retired teacher outraged.
Without the Department of Ed, there's a lot of America, especially rural America, where kids aren't really going to have a chance to break out of poverty.
Sharia Smith lost her job in Texas at one of 6 regional offices education officials say were shut down.
My family is now trying to figure out how we overcome the loss of my income.
President Trump wants to abolish the education department, though that would take an act of Congress. He defended the mass firing, saying this without evidence.
I feel very badly, but many of them don't work at all.
Wyoming superintendent of public instruction among those celebrating the changes.
Streamlining those funds to the states and putting us back in charge of our kids.
Even as protests against the Department of Government efficiency grow across the country, also escalating the Trump trade war.
The United States of America is going to take back a lot of what was stolen from it by other countries.
With top allies retaliating against the president's new tariffs on global steel and aluminum imports. The European Union announcing tariffs on everything from American beef to bourbon and Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Canada slapping 25% tariffs on billions of dollars worth of American goods as the U.S. and Canada prepare for trade talks today. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The federal government is on track to run out of funding and shut down on Saturday. That means Friday is the last day for Congress to pass a spending bill to keep it open. Senate Democrats don't like a continuing resolution from Republicans, and the GOP isn't supporting their alternative. Amy Kiley on the standoff.
If you shut it down, you will impact and hurt millions and millions and millions of Americans.
Congress is edging closer to a potential government shutdown tomorrow night, and the blame game is underway.
I hope our Republican colleagues will join us to avoid a shutdown on Friday.
We are on the brink of a government shutdown, which will be entirely of the Democrats making.
A continuing resolution House Republicans passed needs Democratic support to clear the Senate. Majority Leader John Thune is setting up a vote on the plan, but Democrats are holding out for concessions aimed at reining in DOJ's spending cuts. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says his party has enough votes to block the CR, but Democrats are in a tough spot.
We don't co-sign on all of those elements, but for me, it's about we can't ever allow the government to shut down.
On the flip side, Republicans are refusing to support Democrats' stopgap plan. It would fund the government for about another month to allow time for bipartisan negotiations.
Then we could pass the appropriations bills that have come out of the subcommittees on appropriations, bipartisan bills.
The impasse comes at a precarious moment for the country. Experts worry new tariffs will cause inflation. A government shutdown could be another blow to the U.S. economy.
Talking to CEOs throughout the economy, I hear the economy is weakening as we speak.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Florida lawmakers have taken the first steps to wipe away the Gulf of Mexico from state laws and educational materials. The movement has met with mixed reviews. 3 House and Senate panels have given initial approval to the bills that would carry out the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Many state laws and numerous other government materials use the Gulf of Mexico, leading to the legislative proposals. Republican State Senator Nick DeSegli, who is sponsoring one of the bills, calls the Gulf's name change patriotic.
Why didn't we do this a long time ago? Obviously National Hurricane Center has made the change. Google Maps have made the change. Apple Maps have made the change. So, I think I'm already getting used to saying Gulf of America.
Opponents of the legislation say lawmakers should be focused on insurance and affordable housing rather than wasting time on the name of the Gulf. The proposal would rename the Gulf in 52 sections of state laws. If approved by the legislature and signed by Governor Ron DeSantis, the changes would take effect July 1st.
Health officials are sharing more information about another new measles case, this time out of Fresno County in California. Fresno County's Department of Public Health says the man felt unwell after returning from an international trip. Fresno County health officials also learned the unvaccinated male attended a faith-based convention in Madera County on March 2nd.
A Newberry woman is now behind bars in relation to the 2023 death of Robert Guzman. An autopsy of the 53-year-old Guzman revealed his cause of death to be an acute fentanyl overdose. A further investigation led detectives to Amanda Copley, who is believed to have sold Guzman the fentanyl pills that led to his death. Copley, convicted Tuesday, now faces 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections under charges of second-degree murder.
The Ocala Police Department is speaking out for the first time since last month's neighborhood dog shooting. The incident left 3 dogs dead and an outcry from the community. 2 police officers were reassigned for their response to these aggressive dogs. Police described the incident as overkill. We want to warn you, some of the audio is tough to hear. WUFT's Carolina Tortorelli has the details.
Five gunshots killed 2 dogs. 25 more shots were fired at the third. Ocala police officers Jordan Woods and John McCurdy were immediately reassigned after the incident. They received a violation of misconduct as a result. Ocala Police Chief Mike Balkan says he believes killing the first 2 dogs was justified. Chasing after the third one was a mistake.
Unfortunately, this was a tragic event, which I believe we simply got wrong. Our actions were unreasonable, and we've had to take measures internally to ensure that that doesn't happen again.
Officer McCurdy is facing a 100-hour suspension, while training officer Woods is facing a 20-hour suspension. They will return once their suspensions and remedial trainings are completed. The police department now requires officers to use non-lethal force options when dealing with aggressive animals.
We've also incorporated practical training related to encounters with aggressive animals, and again, that training puts a huge emphasis on pepper spray being the preferred method for dealing with aggressive animals.
Authorities say the animal service was called about the dogs multiple times prior. Reports show the owners received 15 citations for the same type of aggressive behavior, as well as failure to provide proof of rabies vaccination.
That was Carolina Tortorelli reporting. Officer Balkin emphasizes how this tragedy could be avoided if the right steps are taken. He highlights dog owners' legal and moral responsibilities and urges them to attend to their pets, especially if they have violent tendencies.
The Alachua County Public School Board held a meeting Tuesday evening and on the mind of many parents and community members, a memo detailing new policies about ICE presence in schools. Under the district's policy, ICE can detain students without a warrant or parental consent for questioning. Parents, teachers, and students had the opportunity to speak on this matter at the school board meeting Tuesday, and many voiced strong concerns, saying that they feel abandoned by administration.
We need a plan. That's a lot of the stress right now on teachers is we don't know what's expected of us.
It is unacceptable that it has been weeks since ACPS realized guidance to staff regarding ICE entering schools, but nothing for students and families.
We'll continue to update you on this story later on WUFT's First at 5 on Channel 5.
Now let's take a look at our DOT camera overlooking US 441 on Paynes Prairie. Skies and traffic appear to be clear for now, with temperatures warming up from this morning's chilly start. WUFT's Jadyn Bottini has another update on the weather.
We've been seeing some pretty sunny and warm weather, but this weekend we're going to see clouds and lots of rain and even some heavier winds. Right now on campus though, skies looking pretty clear, a couple of scattered clouds out there, temperature 71 degrees, winds from the southwest about 7 miles per hour right now. Temperatures 70 in Gainesville and Ocala and the Villages, 72 in Jacksonville, 70 in St. Augustine. We're going to continue to warm up this afternoon, and this evening we're going to be experiencing a lunar eclipse. So this is when the Earth gets in between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow on the moon. It's going to happen starting at 2:26 a.m. tonight, so set your alarms. It will be going on from about 2:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. tonight. We are going to have a beautiful 24 hours, but that's not the case for Mississippi and Alabama. They're under a marginal risk for some storms happening right now. These hazards include wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and hail 1 inch or larger. Here's that low pressure system causing these storms. We can see on the radar these storms are beginning to die down. They're leaving some clouds. These clouds may make it to us. We're not going to see precipitation from this though. Our next weather maker is way off to the northwest. It's going to track our way this weekend. And here it is. Here's the risk of it as it heads towards the center of the country. Moderate risk near Kentucky, Tennessee area. These hazards include wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour, and some strong tornadoes are possible on Friday. For Saturday, it moves a little bit more southeast. Moderate risk in Mississippi, Alabama area, 70 mile per hour wind gusts, golf ball sized hail, and strong tornadoes are possible. So let's check out the timing for us. Here it is Saturday, 11 a.m., not touching Florida yet. It makes its way into the Panhandle Saturday evening, coming a little bit closer to us. Sunday afternoon is when we're going to see that rain and wind really pick up in our area. And then by Sunday evening, it will clear up a little bit, heading off the East Coast by Monday morning, leaving us with some cooler temperatures next Monday and Tuesday. Looking at the rainfall totals from this storm, we're really not going to see that rain pick up until around noon on Sunday. We can see it begins to creep up there. We're going to get almost an inch in Gainesville, a little over an inch near High Springs, Cross City, Lake City. They're getting up to 2 inches in Jacksonville. So again, significant rainfall and severe winds is what's possible from this storm. For the rest of the weekend, Saturday is going to be warm and partly cloudy. If you want to get outside, I suggest you do it on Saturday. Sunday is going to be stormy. Storms pretty much all day. High of 82 around 2 p.m. on Sunday. For the rest of the week, tomorrow high of 82, low of 53. On Saturday is very warm, high of 87. Sunday, lots of storms and showers possible. Into next week, dropping temperatures a little bit Monday, sunny Tuesday, warming back up on Wednesday, and a slight chance for showers on Thursday.
Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, yo soy Chapman con tus noticias en 90 segundos. El presidente Trump amenazó con imponer un arancel de 200% al alcohol europeo. El presidente informó que el nuevo arancel entrará en vigor al menos que la Unión Europea revoca el arancel del 50% en impuestos en las bebidas alcohólicas estadounidenses. La industria estadounidense de bebidas espirituosas dijo que estaba preparando para los efectos de estos aranceles. Una nueva autopista elimina acres de la selva amazónica. El gobierno brasileño comenzó la construcción con la meta de facilitar el tráfico en preparación para la Conferencia de las Naciones Unidas sobre el Cambio Climático en Belén el próximo noviembre. La ciudad albergará más de 50,000 personas, incluyendo líderes globales. Comunidades locales y conservacionistas han criticado la autopista por la destrucción de la naturaleza. Explosión en alcantarilla en Texas Tech University causó un corte de energía y evacuación en el campus este el miércoles por la noche. El personal llegó a la escena encontrando fuego y humo saliendo de múltiples alcantarillas, indicando una posible explosión por causa eléctrica o de gas. Se ordenó la evacuación de varios edificios, además una investigación está en marcha y ninguno herido ha sido reportado. Esas fueron tus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
Gas prices are reported as being down since January. However, there are reasons consumers shouldn't be too pumped amid recession concerns. According to AAA, the national average price for a gallon of regular gas stands at $3.08. Prices at the pump have been dropping consistently since July, and oil prices have dropped 11% since January. While this small drop in gas prices is good news, it comes with concerns about a possible recession. The actual start of a recession would likely send gasoline prices down quickly and sharply.
SpaceX successfully launched more Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit Wednesday night. A Falcon 9 launched with 21 satellites, including 13 with direct-to-cell capabilities, to low Earth orbit from SpaceX Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Liftoff occurred at 10:35 p.m. Eastern. According to SpaceX, Falcon 9 is the world's first orbital-class reusable rocket, and it allows for the reliable and safe transport of people and payloads into Earth orbit and beyond.
Walmart is asking some of its Chinese suppliers to meet its everyday low prices and provide significant price cuts amid its tariff struggles. The retail giant is caught in the middle of the escalating trade war between the U.S. and China. Last week, Walmart tried to offset the tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump by reportedly asking for these pay cuts. Chinese officials summoned Walmart executives to investigate those claims Tuesday. In a possible warning, it added that Chinese authorities could take action. Walmart says talks with suppliers were aimed at saving money for millions of customers.
Struggling chip makers and famous tech company Intel is looking for new leadership as the organization is set to hire its new CEO. This move leaves investors hopeful in the company's resurgence. Lip-Bu Tan was named chief executive Wednesday. He's a longtime tech investor and semiconductor industry executive. Intel is hoping to turn things around after the one-time industry leader has fallen behind most of its rivals in recent years. Following this announcement, Intel's stock jumped nearly 13% in after-hours trading.
An environmental group targeted by the Justice Department over a federal grant is suing the bank and the Trump administration for access to its money. The nonprofit Climate United Fund says the money is still locked down. The group is suing the administration to unfreeze a $7 billion federal grant awarded by the Biden administration using money Congress appropriated. It will fund clean energy and solar projects around the nation. The lawsuit alleges that the Justice Department leaders are targeting the Environment Group and others receiving similar funding. In response, the Trump-appointed Environmental Protection Agency now is accusing this group of criminal activity. Now let's get over to WUFT First at 5 anchor Nicholas Diaz with a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
Looking ahead to First at 5, the Florida Wildlife Commission is looking into options for a regulated black bear hunt. Plus, we had a reporter cover the Alachua County School Board meeting last night. Find out what concerns teachers raised about ICE agents coming into their classrooms. All this and more coming up on First at 5.
Before we go, one last check on the weather.
If you want to get outside this weekend, I suggest you do it Saturday. High of 87 on Saturday. Very stormy and cloudy Sunday for us. Next week, we're dropping temperatures Monday and Tuesday into the lower 70s. A sunny Tuesday and a high of 80 on Thursday with some possibility for some showers on Thursday.
Thanks for joining us for WUFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.